Hey, it's Dan, and welcome to Unified Gaming. So tonight, guys, we are going to be talking about the new Mythic, which is really cool. I'm going to kind of showcase the Mythic itself, what it does, and really break down how to build around it. There's some really cool sets you can use with this thing, and we're going to kind of test it quite thoroughly on the live server to really see how to use it. In the background at the moment is just some gameplay from my light attack build. If you've not seen it, it's super fun, like do check that out. And as always, if you get any questions about what I do, then obviously let me know. I will do my best to answer in the chat. If you haven't seen already, we do also have a Twitch as well. So if you want to join that, there's details on the screen and stuff throughout, so you can see that there. But we're going to kind of jump kind of straight into it and just really showcase the Mythic. So with the Mythic itself, you get this from Night Market. Now if you've not seen it, there's a guide on the channel, and I'll quickly touch upon how to farm this. So I'll give it about 30 seconds or so for people to find the stream, and then we'll go through like where to get the Mythic, what it does, why you need it, because it's very fun. So I've given it a couple of times for people to find the Mythic and find the stream and stuff, but we're going to jump on to show it there. Reef says, hey Reef, good to see you, my friend. Here I should be able to turn off this, and there it is. So we're on the live server. We have literally just dug it up, so you'll see it in here somewhere. It's on my other character, but I'm going to basically recreate it. So the Mythic, if you've not seen, is really cool because it essentially allows you to create a status effect build, which sounds really like niche, but actually is really powerful if you build around it properly. So it is the Shattered Path Signet. And what this does is it increases your damage done with status effects by 1% for every ult you have. And it caps at 170%, but this is halved in PvP. What this means is it essentially adds like 85% bonus damage to your status effects, which basically turns them into dots. So what you want to do is try to find a way to have lots of status effects to then basically have lots of dots. And this just becomes a dot set. So that's how this thing works. And if you use this correctly, you can get a lot of extra damage. And it also says, whilst you have more than 170 ult, your light and heavy attacks apply random status effects as well once every 4 seconds. So if you are missing some, like a status you don't have because of a skill or weapon type you don't use, you've got a pretty good chance of getting it up anyway. So that's kind of what this Mythic does. So the idea is that this Mythic allows you to just get status effects and do bonus damage than you would otherwise, and actually really lean into this playstyle. The downside is you can't use your ult, so there is a trade-off with it. So what I'm going to do is I want to do a few tests quickly before we reconstruct it, and then we'll reconstruct it, and I want to make a warden. So if you've seen the thumbnail at the front, I want to go for a warden. I've not made a warden in quite some time, and it's going to be a Magicka-based warden, which I think will be really fun with this build. The first test I want to check is basically the trait. So if you've not seen it, I want to see what trait is really worth grabbing. Should it be essentially like infused? Should it be like sharp, so protective, or like swift? And I don't know is the answer. My thinking is maybe bloodthirsty, but I don't know how good that will be because damage doesn't always scale properly with these kind of things. So that's what we're going to check quickly. Reef says, what about Serpent's Disdain? That is one of the sets I want to use with this. So I'll talk about which sets you can use in a sec. But test one's really simple. What we need to know is, does the Bloodthirsty trait increase the damage and status effects? It's a really simple test. So it says, increase your damage when enemies are below 90% health. So the way we can test this is that if we just quickly grab a destruction staff and use weakness to elements and elemental susceptibility, this applies burn-in, shield, concussion. And what we can do is literally chuck it on here, get a target below 90% health and check what it does. So if we do this, you can see it's 1051, yeah? So it's basically doing about 1000 damage. And then if we just keep doing this with nothing else, now we do have death dealers going to go up. So I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to take off death dealers this time. And now I'm going to put it on. So that's how we're going to test it. So it's literally going to see, does Bloodthirsty increase the damage done with status effects because they're reticking? So 924. The 10209. You've seen that we've had it quite a few times. Now in theory, 1036. So if you can see that number is increasing slightly. So what this means is that the initial hits do scale up. Now the question is, does the dot scale up? This obviously depends on which trait we go for. There's now some 1050, 1051. So there's not a massive increase. But this could help be like a pseudo execute. You see where I'm going with this? So what I'm going to do is do it again. But this time just let the dots do the ticking. And I will put on my add-ons as well. So let me just turn these on quick. And that way we have combat metrics and all this good stuff. So we can see those things again. Okay. So we've got combat metrics and things. So it's 795, 886, 844, 886. So I'm looking at the orange number now. So if you see this 886, I'm watching that number on the actual target dummy. That's on his body essentially. So I'm going to try and get it to about 91%. And then see, does that scale up now? 886, 886. When it reapplies, 892, 892, that'll crit. And it will reapply, 894, 894. 894. Because obviously this will impact on which sets we use. If it's only calculating when it's applying, then Serpent's Disdain might not be that useful in all honesty. Yeah, so what I can say, looking at that test there, which might mean little to people, once you have applied it, the bonus of Bloodthirsty won't apply. A bit kind of what happens with dots, so it's the same problem that dots have, which means you're better going for Infused on the Mythic. So that's all I wanted to test, because I didn't want to waste my transmute crystals. Reeve says, what about Baron Saunders 2-piece? Now I will have a look at that in a second. So I've made a list of sets that I thought were pretty decent that you could look at. So we'll create this quick. I will get sidetracked otherwise. So this is very, very good. So the sets that I would look into is a set called Dragokin's Grip. This is a dungeon set and it's a DLC dungeon. Okay. It is a little annoying to get, but it is very, very good at what it does. But I think it comes from down here. So Unhollowed Grave, and what Dragokin's Grip does, you can see I farmed this loads, absolutely tons of this, is it increases your damage done by 320 at gold quality, but reduces your healing by 10%. This 320 is applied to everything you do. So light attack, status effect, tick, skill. If your skill has 3 hits like jabs or false pulse, it applies 3 times. It doesn't have a cooldown. So essentially, the more you can stack a damage source, the more you get out of this. And stacking all the status effects with Serpent's Disdain means you're going to have lots and lots of just extra damage out of this, which will make quite a big damage boost. So I'm thinking this is going to be a very, very strong set to run. And then we want to use a crafted set, which is called Serpent's Disdain. Now this set is cool because what this does, it turns status effects into like dots. Now this is a DLC zone, and it is down here somewhere. There it is. So it increases the duration of status effects you apply by 16 seconds. So basically, anytime you apply a status effect, it's about like a 20-second dot. It makes status effects turn really, really good. The only reason I don't really use this is if you've got a build that spams status effects a lot, this isn't that good. The only time that this is actually now worth using is because we have that big damage boost on the status effects already, which means you can run this. But if you want more raw damage, dropping this for like Shattered Fate will actually be more DPS in PvP, because this is about way more penetration, which is more damage, but this is just easier to play with. So I'm probably going to go this route for just simplicity, in all honesty. Reef did say we should look at Baron Saunders, so have a quick Google. And it says, applying the status effects to an enemy grants you a stack of ambition, up to 3 stacks. When you get 3 stacks, stacks are removed and you gain 4 ult. And gain an ult, you cannot gain additional stacks. So this is like an ult gen set. I think this is a really cool idea. Me personally, I'm probably going to go with the Asylum 2H, the Destro Staff. Having the extra ult is great, but ideally you're probably going to be just not using the ult and just having the bonus damage. So if you go to a trial set, and it is the Asylum, it's called Concentrated Force. Now if you can get the perfected one, like get it, it does help, but trying to get people to do this, it's quite challenging in all honesty to get the right thing you want. It's just not worth the aggro. But every second cast, a force shot applies burning, concussion and shield instantly. Now what makes this really strong is that this applies every single time, pretty much. And if you do it, you basically get 3 bonus ticks of these status effects. And this is separate to the natural ticks you get from like using your charge. So this basically means this is like a free tick, so you can basically double tick at once, and I have tested this before. So I'm going to use this, most likely, with Shattered, so Serpent's Disdain and then Dragon's Grip. That's what I'm thinking. So we're going to load it all together, see how we can make it work, and then we're going to make it on a Warden. So we've got the Mythic. Now for the Serpent's Disdain, I'm going to suggest running this on the back bar, which sounds a bit weird. But most of our dots are going to be applied on the back bar, and then we'll have the front bar spammable for just False Pulse, which I think will work well. Okay, so we're going to reconstruct and go to that trial and make the lightning staff. Now yes, it's a Warden, we could use an ice staff for like thematics, but I want a lightning staff because this will buff our direct damage and it will give us a big damage boost. So that's why we're going this route. So we're going to make one of these. I have tested as well in the past, charged first, the size, sharpened. Out of the two, they have almost identical damage in PvP. Yes, this procs the status effects more, but they don't hit as hard, which means this is better. And because of what we're trying to do, we are going to essentially use this because we don't want the back bar status effects to reapply because they'll get the like reduced duration. Now, that will make a bit more sense in a moment, okay? So we want to sharpen for this and gold quality. This is a very good item. NGR says, how do you have so much transmute crystals? I've got 400, which is not huge. Not huge. Just for people curious, by the way, if you are watching on YouTube and you want to get some extra trade bars, I am actually live on Twitch as well, and I have drops enabled. So there's a link to the Twitch if you want to do that, and just jump into the Twitch too, you'll get free stuff. Like, who loves free stuff, eh? But with what we're trying to do, we're going to use this. I'm going to go to the back bar now, and we can use like any kind of weapon we want. Now, if you want to like maximize your skills and get as many status effects as you can, you want to go and consider either a bow or poison ejection, or you want to go with something like a frost staff because you can block. So I'm going to go on my Warden quick. We'll set up the skills and just double check we're happy where they're going to go. We've got a couple of wardens. It's this one here I love. And then I'm going to essentially do like a reverse build, which makes it's a bit weird. So normally I do what's called a front bar, back bar push. So if you look at this set of skills here, this is all damage, and then the back bar's normally defense. That's kind of how it works typically. This was an oaken sword build, which is why it's got 1 bar. But then I changed it to a magical build. So what we're going to do is set up the skills how I want it. Okay? And I'm going to go and respec, and we're going to get this exactly how we need. And let me just max that quickly. Okay. So for the skills, I'm going to put it back down to just the base class warden, okay? And then I may subclass some things out, but I wanted to start with the warden to begin with, because with the changes next patch, having the masteries are very strong, and being able to have like all of that on this would be fantastic. But if we don't get that, we might then add in some other skills too. So on the front bar, we're going to do essentially full shock here, and we're going to put this here, okay? And then for the other skills, we are going to change cliff rate and put it on to cutting dive. This is a stamina skill, but it has a bleed damage, which means you can proc hemorrhaging from this, which is very, very good. So we're going to use this as a way to get hemorrhaging. Now I want to put this on the back bar, okay? I'm then going to probably use a bow, which I probably need to get the bow skill line on here, so I might need to level that up and use poison injection, or use a scribe skill like poison soul, for example. So we're going to have burning, chill, concussion from this. We're going to have hemorrhaging from this one. We need a disease skill. So let me get this. So that's going to go there. I'm going to use swarm and use fetter infection. So these are both magic. This is bleed. I might use that instead. Because this will proc overcharge and mind vulnerability. Bleed is pretty decent. Enemies in the character bleed. We're going to go with this. I'll try that to begin with. So I need to then make a scribed skill. So I'm just thinking about all the status effects we can attack, attack really easily. We want wield soul. I think we got bleed, disease. Sorry, we want lingering torment. Now the reason we do this is because this gives us a disease dot. There's very few skills that do this in the game, and this will proc minor defile, which is great. And this can proc major defile because it's actually an active ability, and if you hit this, you get major minor defile. It's really nasty because you go, here's the defile. So major defile, minor defile, very, very horrible skill. So again, we're going to chuck that on the back bar. So that will go there. So my thinking is basically to go dot, 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 swap bar, and then just have my heals and my spammable here. That's essentially the playstyle. That's what I'm going to go for. That's going to go here. I'm going to put on probably the Betty this bar just because it's it. And yeah, let's go Betty there. I then need to have a burst heal of some kind. Now, because of how we're going to build it, I'm going to have to stack health because I don't think we'll be able to get enough healing from like a spell damage skill. So we're going to go down the route of probably Polar Wind. It's decent. I want Living Mines. I like that skill. It's a good skill. I'll go for Living Trellis. That's very, very helpful. It's good healing. Get a Vigor on the build too. We also need an armor buff, so you need Frost Cloak and an Ice Fortress. They're going to stay there. That's going to go there. And then we've got skill for the poison injection here. So you'd have disease. This could be magic. Probably will change to magic actually. Let's do that quick. Because again, we're trying to get as many status effects as we can. Poison. With it being a bow, you've got physical damage. I'm going to use charged in the back bar too, just a heads up. Now, I will need to level up my bow, but we can kind of mess around with it and find alternatives. Like poison, there's no. Actually, my man doesn't know poison. Let's see if we know poison damage in our banker quickly. Got so many different scripts, it's ridiculous. There you go, sweet. Let's grab one of those. This is just because I haven't leveled up the thing yet. And I'm gonna go and deposit that back. The traveling knife can be poison, and you can get a dot on it. Okay, so we could maybe go dual wield on the bat bar, which sounds weird, which will let us do sharpened and one charged. I might do this actually. The range is 15 meters. It's not a huge amount. This is. Yeah, so there's our poison dot. Off balance is quite decent. Savagery. Might go with this one. I'm just thinking about the things we can put on to help. Although the crit damage with crit chance would be nice. I'm gonna go for main just because I know that you get that from the frost. You do. We won't need that. Yeah, let's go for crit. I don't think we've got crit on the build yet. So I'm really like looking at how we can try and get what we need. So we might go dual wield actually for the Serpent's Disdain. And that's just because I haven't leveled up the bow. So I'm looking now, like I'm using this skill line, but I don't think this skill line's doing much for us in all honesty. Well, next patch it will be very good, but this patch I might drop this halfway through testing. Let me see, bow or dual wield. So, do you think we should use a bow or dual wield? I need to level either up, yeah? And they're going to take ages. But like for this, would you use a bow or would you go dual wield? But I'm leaning to bow personally. Obviously the advantage of like dual wield is I can just do this now and I don't have to like mess around with it. Level up a skill line, which is very attractive, not gonna lie. What explosion skills are there? Because we need this, there's no disease skills in the game that are range. Do you feel like we have to bite the bullet? Okay, so I've got the idea of what we need. And then the loadout on this is going to be really weird. Like, it's going to be a really weird setup. So you want to pay close attention to how we gear it up. And like my thinking is that can we basically make a ranged dot build? And that's what I'm trying to do with the status effects, obviously. Yeah, and if you haven't seen it, I do have a Twitch, which is currently live. You can get drops over there. So if you are interested in like just free drops, there's a link to it there. We are going to quickly craft the gear now and then jump into PvP. Because some of the stuff you can do with that mythic is very, very cool. And the thinking is that we basically see the target, hit them with a couple of skills that have dots attached to them very easily, which would be fantastic. And then we just essentially do damage. So we need to go to the woodworking station. I'm going to create a DLC zone and I want Serpent's Disdain. Now for this, we want this to be bow, but I will try the dual wield too, okay? Now when you create the bow, I would suggest that you go with the charged trait, because this will increase the status effects and you really want this. Because the idea is that we're going to hit them with all the long dots, status effects on the back bar basically, and switch to the front bar to proc burn and shield concussion consistently using the false pulse, because that's easy to proc. I do not care about the style, I just want it to hit hard and do damage. So that's the bow we're going to go for. We've got the weapon sorted out. Now, we are going to transmute a few things. So we're going to go and reconstruct that dungeon set. It's a DLC dungeon. It's right near the bottom on Hollowed Grave. And we need a necklace and a ring. So the idea is that we're going to try and get this as like light armor, essentially. We can go necklace. So this is going to absolutely destroy my transmute pile. I have so few after this. It's going to be really sad. I'm just double checking I'm getting the right ones. So that's 2 pieces there. We then need to have some body pieces, unfortunately. So to maximize resistances, we're going to go hands, sash, and feet. We want Drugkin always active for this build. The reason we do the sash is because it has the least amount of resistance, and we want to go for impen. People hit very hard. So we've got the sash. And then we're going to go for the hands, because you can check the values, like that's 1100, 1100. And again, purple. And like, you might be going, this is a really weird setup, and why you're going to reduce your healing. Like, I'm focusing on being a support build with this, that's what I wanted to do. And we'll go for eat. So we've now got 5 pieces of Drugkin on the build, essentially. That leaves available the legs, head, shoulders, and robe. And we already have 2 pieces on the back bar, so you only need 3 of these to be a piece of Serpent's Disdain. So I'm going to go for a heavy, reconstructed again, trainee piece. So Miscellaneous, a starter zone. Go for heavy armor, again just for Undaunted basically. And you want to go reinforce on this one. Now you could gold this because you're going to use this item loads in all honesty, but I'm a bit tight, so I'm going to save some money. And then we now need to create the final 3 pieces, which is the legs, the head, and the shoulders. I'm going to go to the clothing station and the blacksmith one. So where's the blacksmith? Here he is. Put on our set, Serpent's Disdain. Now for this, if you want to maximize damage, the damage scaling on status effects is quite poor, so you better go in penetration. So rather than stacking really high like weapon and spell damage, it doesn't scale well. So you are better just going with more penetration because you'll get more raw damage out of this. We're going to go for a helmet. We are going to go for that reinforced, just try and get that resistance value up a little bit higher because it's pretty low. Legs. Now the shoulders is actually the same weight, but I'm going to go medium for this just because I want the Undaunted to 5 like passive. Again, grab the DLC set, Serpent's Disdain, Creation, and we want the medium shoulder. And then the final thing to then do is just upgrade it quickly. And improve all of this. That's all purple. There it is. Now you don't need to go any more than purple in all honesty on this build. So if you recreate this yourself, I would just keep it as purple and like, no, it's good enough. The money for gold is just not worth it in all honesty. We're going to improve. We're going to grab the helmet, the shoulders are done, and then the legs. And whilst we're waiting, we obviously don't have the poison injection yet, so we'll have to use a different thing. But we can use double dot poison to kind of get around that for the moment. So I think that's it mostly there. The bow, did I make it gold? Let's check. I don't think I actually upgraded it. Let's upgrade the bow quick. Yeah, there it is. Now this one I will go for gold because the actual bonus, so it's 225, gold is 235. It's not huge, but that 10% will make a difference with how many things we're trying to proc. So we're going to go and put all our stuff away now. So serpent, 1, 2, that's 2, 3, 5. And we want Draga, which is very good. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you then want the, I think it's called, this is the Asylum. Can't remember what they call it though. Oh, they actually just call it the Asylum one. You can see where I've done it before, like a status build before. So that's there. And then we need to put the signet thing in there too. So we're going to switch over and then put it all on the character. Check what we actually have because I might have forgotten something. It happens often. And then we'll be able to kind of do a kind of a rough look at it on the target dummy. And what's really cool with this thing is you can literally jump into PvP and just have 500 ult at the start by going to a guild house, which is pretty nasty. If you want more melee and to get like lots of damage out of this, you could go vampire and go for eviscerate. This does a lot of damage, especially with 3 stacks. Like it's pretty nasty. So we'll quickly, not that one, sorry. Quickly up to the guild house. And then we'll be able to like check it out. And what we'll then do is kind of refine and tweak the build as we go through. Does it need more sustain, more resistances, more speed, change traits if needed. But we're really kind of trying to maximize how it feels. So this is our front bar. So let me go grab all the stuff now, okay? So there's our Asylum thing. This thing's awesome, by the way. This is such a cool weapon. If you've never played with this, you're going to get a lot of fun out of this. Now we could put a poison glyph on if needed. That's the other way around it. What I'm going to do is a stopgap. Just a heads up. 1, 2, 5. Serpent sustain. And then we want signet. I think that's it's also trainee. I don't think I put the trainee in there. Yeah, I'm almost positive I didn't put trainee in here, but I might have a piece spare. There's a light armor piece. Not what I want. Do I have one on here? Oh, yeah, we can just use that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is chuck this all on now. So where's our bow? Our bow. And then we are going to need serpent sustain. Sustain. This will have to be Dragokin. Dragokin. Sustain. Dragokin. So I've already got one here, so I'm going to use the gold one. What we should have is Dragokin always active. So when we swap bar, Dragokin's always on. Okay? When we go to the back bar with the bow, we should then have Serpent Sustain on. When we go to the front bar, it will turn off. And you might be going, well, damn, why like that's bad? It's not as bad as it sounds because when you're switching between the bars quite quickly, the dots will just go up to those 20-second durations really quick. So if I put on some skills, like if I just go this one here for example, and it was this one, on the back bar, you can literally do cut and dive, and that's them off balance. But you can like spam and get hemorrhaging quite quick, because that's hemorrhaging up. You've got those dots already on there. And when you then start to this will just proc the burn and chill concussion really quickly. And what you'll find is when you switch to them, apart from hemorrhaging scaling up, when it goes to like 3, it will reset down to 4. But this will stay on, like this will stay on. That's the 20 seconds there, that's hemorrhaging there. Because the hemorrhaging increase. So it might be that maybe we, depending on how much damage does hemorrhaging do, but that's kind of what we'd want them to do. So I'm going to glyph everything up that we need. Grab all the skill points we need. Concentration, get all that. And then we'll give it a bit of a run. So we want that one for the extra damage. The extra crit. And all I'm doing is just grabbing all the passives that are going to help us quite quickly. So like this we're not going to use. That we might use quite a bit. And that we'll use. Grab the resolve. Now I'll come back to those in a moment, but I'm just checking. Do we have enough up? And we will keep as a vampire initially, but we might change that. Just no use. Let's go up Undaunted. Okay, and then for the actual ultimate, now you can, which I'm probably going to do, switch this and use this one. This has bleed damage, so this might be a way to get bleed up easily. So we might use that. I am going to start though with increased damage and applies chill effect to enemies hit, but at the expense of damage done. Because chill is going to hit really hard. That's just lots of shield, and it gives us lots of defense. I want to just check 1 second. I don't know the answer to this. I want to check, does permafrost apply chilled every time it hits? So it's like chilled, 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 chilled. Which means that's going to do a fair bit of damage. Yeah, so it looks like it's applying every second, that chilled. That's what that 774 is. I think we could check that by the combat metrics. But yeah, there's the chill. So yeah, so that does actually proc chill every single time, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to go for the tree ult. Love the tree ult. I'm going to swap this just for a different dot to begin with. And go with something like Structured Entropy. It's a magic dot, but it gives us some healing. I don't mean that one. So we might need a bit more healing power. I'm fully aware of this. I'm going to go with False Pulse, by the way. This makes an AoE. Now we've got all those spare skill points, we are going to actually utilise them. Any of those. I'm just doing a quick check to go, are we missing anything that could help us? Just check if we've got all of these ones. Let's just grab these quick. And then we'll jump into BGs. Do a quick check on how it feels. We'll change some of our attributes now. Because a lot of our damage we want to come from, look, our regen's ridiculous. But our damage is going to come from status effects and just stacking lots of stuff. So I'm going to go initially for 48-16, I think. And the reason I've done that is just because our healing is going to be based on polar wind, so we need that bigger health pool to get some good healing out of it. We now need to get some glyphs. So again, this is where we can have a few more ways to stack and layer that damage further. Because we've got a lot of regen from those. So we're going to buy a poison damage glyph. It's 900k, like who put that on there? Let's go glyphs quickly. Do not want to pay 20k for a glyph, that's like obscene. 50k? We'll do that. It's not ideal, but it's okay enough, if that makes sense. And we'll see what actual things we need. The reason we use poison is because it can block the poison status effect. We could also do it on this one here too. So I'm wondering actually, do I do it? I might put that on the bat bar. Yeah, I'm actually going to change that around. A gold one. So we're going for an absorb stamina. If we can find one. Why are they like so expensive? Like we put it for 900k. Now the reason we want to do absorb stamina is because it has physical damage, which can proc the Saundered, which is a minor breach. That's better. I will need to get a poison one from somewhere else, so I'm going to back bar the poison glyph. And that's just as a stopgap because I don't have access to poison injection yet. When we get poison injection, we'd use poison injection. Like it's always way better. See, that's what I expect. That's like reasonable, that is. We're just gonna grab that magical harm one. Grab 3 of those. Then would the I just need to grab some prismatic. 1, 2. I'm gonna just grab some magical ones. Now we could use sugar skulls, but I'm going to keep the Jewels of Mistral just for the moment. And then we'll start changing our glyphs around, okay? And then our Munderstone. Our Munderstone is currently the Atronach, which we don't... I don't think. So that's 1900 already. Might need 1 regen there. That's the legs, I want the automatic on that one. Stamina. Okay, so I think we've got the stuff how I want it like loaded out. We should have like almost 4k spell damage, which is pretty decent. Now I am going to buy a regen glyph too just before we go in, because I'm a little concerned about that region, that when we change to like the lava munders, which I might do in a second, our regen might be a little too low for what I want to do. We've got a couple of those spare, then we can go to the guild house, and then we can queue for Cyrodiil once we're in there. I will sort out the CP whilst we wait, and we'll try and get into BG too. Yeah, just looking at the poll, people are like, poison injection should be the way, and I do think it would be very good. Streak's always on his little sulk. He's very good at his sulk. So, activity finder, Battlegrounds. Yeah. We should be at like 1500 regen, yeah. So that's why I think we might need a little more regen. You feed on him. So I've gone with the Vampire Stage 3 this time, just because we do take more damage. Yes, DKs are like everywhere, and yes, everybody uses Flame Lash, but you're going to probably die from Flame Lash anyway. Oh, is that Stage 4? I don't want Stage 4. Yeah, no, we do not want Stage 4. Let's put one of those back. Okay, so we're Stage 3. Now, I don't know how good this will be, but I have high hopes. I have high hopes that this could be good. The other sets I had considered, by the way, for people curious, is Symmetry of Wield. That's a really cool set. So that comes from, I think it's Gold Road. But essentially, when you're above 50% health, you get like increased status effects chance, and then when you're below 50% health, you get like increased healing. It's quite a good duo set because it's damage when you need it and healing when you need it. That's pretty solid. So we could possibly use that instead of Dragonkin. No, I actually do need to grab that ult. I forgot to charge my ult. Okay, so I got my ult charged, which is great. I need to learn where all my skill bars are. Oh, look at him waiting. What a champ. What a champ. Love it. I love it when people wait for that. Yeah, I will put on those extra regen glyphs, 100%. Your ult does drain loads though. Like that ult drain is very noticeable, so I might actually need to change Mythic. Like, you get so much, when you get that full spell go off, it's so much damage on them. The dots got him. Yeah, the dots are nasty. I need to get ult gen in it. Because that drain's a little too high, so maybe we drop the false pulse extra set. It does hit so hard though. But I want the bonus on the dots. And this is why I do testing. The dot damage is actually dirty though. Absolutely dirty. It's in the kitchen, Laura. Yeah, so we've had 6 kills. And we'll be able to see in a moment. I'm going to put on some minor timidity. You lose so much ult. So we definitely need an ult gen source because we're not actually using an ult, but you are just constantly draining that ult. It's pretty noticeable. Oh, my health bar went very, very low. Yeah, I wonder whether like minor heroism might counteract that debuff. Some dots. Terrible time to get CCs done. Oh. The dots though are very, very fun. He's like the healers over me as. I managed to get away enough. Yeah, the ult drain's really interesting on that because you lose so much ult. So much ult drain. But we do need a way to get a little bit more in there. Like it's actually quite... Our bow's gone up though. Level 17, so... That is good. I think poison injection will help. If we look at our status effects... 1700 that was doing, 1200... chill 1700... Burning 1300... So like all of this is just like free damage. Overcharge 1400 and it's criting. Diseased 1100. So like when all that's going constantly, it's like an extra 5,000-6,000 damage every time if it all ticks at once. Plus your spammable, which is really nasty. Pardon me. Now, I'm going to look at Baron Saunders. Now, applying the text stats, maybe go on to choose type ambition up to 3 stats. When you gain 3 stats, moved you get 4 ults. When gaining the set, so how much do we lose on this? So on this one, you lose 1 ult every 1.5 seconds. That just feels like that's minor heroism. Yeah, so I think I want to do another. The damage felt okay. Like the damage felt decent. That timidity is annoying because you're always in combat because of the whole combat thing in ESO. But I do wonder. Do I have it high enough? I do, yes. But we go to something like exhilarating drain. And this gives you a ton of ult. An absolute ton of ult. But when this level up, it's like 5 ult like a second. It is really high ult gen. So maybe we could utilize this if needed. Let's get into Battleground though, because it felt like the damage wasn't bad. Like it was easy to get the dots on the person at range, like really easy. It just feels like, because you're constantly in combat because of the ESO thing, little difficult. I'm just going to turn off my mini map. There you go. Yeah, you can definitely see there's definitely power in this mythic for sure. We just need to find a way to keep the damage. I'm gonna add a regen glyph this time, because we were not say we're like getting low, but I didn't have as much as I wanted sustain wise. That should be bird of prey, by the way. That's extra damage there. Minor berserk will help. So nobody's gone for that. I'm gonna go for speech sigil. Yeah. So the reds are all together. Ah, go on. That shield is disgusting on that. That actual shield on this is like nasty. Look at that. Just walking to people. Let's go get some healing going. Did. Had 6 kills so far. Yeah, this is fun. I got hit with bear. I don't know how I stayed alive there, but I stayed alive. I don't know how. Ah! Come back! Oh, dogs. Ah, the dogs go. Okay, yeah, this feels like really nuts. As a build, like it's so much free damage. Because they just hit this constant damage, like that. Shouldn't use my ult. It's so much damage. You put that northern permafrost, sorry, that constant shield stack. It's horrible. It's just like chill. Like, it feels like the old warden and we run into a person. I got him. Yeah, it's a lot of... I think they got me. I had an 18 kill streak. Oh, they got me. They got me. It's definitely a fun mythic. Like, this is a really interesting way to play PvP. I'm curious to see how much it will do against, like, really, you know, normal builds. Look at all the dots on him. It does like so much damage. I don't. That's like death. Oh, I don't want to get caught in that little group there. Oh, they just got him with a big bomb. Yeah, what do you guys think of the build? This was cheeky healing. What's nice with the status effects, you can't dodge them once they're on you. They just constantly tick at you. Like, that status effect does so much extra damage on that second cast. I'm still alive, still alive. Oh my goodness, I got so close to dying, so close to dying with 25 kills. The dots just ate him. Literally, just like 1500 is taken per dot tick, and there's like 5 of them on him. There's all the little dots just tick. Okay, at 29 to 1, that 1.3 million damage. It definitely felt like I could use my ult if I needed to. And that's without poison injection. Like, when we get that, that'd be so much better. How much were those dots ticking for? 1500, 2200. Cut and dive. It's a lot of damage. Like, every status effect is basically 1000 to 2000 damage. Like, and we're proccing them consistently. Yeah, I think we need to get that bow up quite quick. Because this would be a nice way to proc poison. And I can probably then get rid of entropy. And I can then change the glyph on the back bar for like absorb and then use that poisons for even more damage. Do that double dot poisons here. Because this applies sauntered. Although I feel like poisons might be a good shout. Because it's just a lot more sustained DPS. But this feels like really fun to play. As a build, like, it's not the most tankiest. It's meant to be in groups and stuff, and you just essentially harass people with it. I'm curious, like, what do you guys think of the build? Like, what are your thoughts? So I'm going to put a poll on YouTube. And it's literally going to be basically what do you think of the build and the mythic. And like what it lets you do, this kind of weird combo, is that when you see like a target, you can literally heavy attack into your dots. And then you can swap bar. And you got all these little additional status effects going constantly. And it's just right, loads and loads of state, like just prop. I need to have a think about the TP. BG's is really like it's just so much pressure, like so much pressure. Johnny says, "Thought you didn't use your ult, or you lose your stacks." I've used my ult for some instances. So the reason why I'm using the ult is, yes, when I use the ult, I lose like this, but because the ult has chilled on it, this procs every second. So it's like chill. And what makes this good is the Warden has base chill boosts. So it increases the damage of chill by 331, which is a huge 311, sorry, which is a huge amount of like bonus chill damage. And then when you add on Dragonkin as well, which we use, another 322, that combined is like an extra 600 on chill plus its base. So when we use this ult, it's like an extra 600 every single second. So it then hits really hard, and this also snares people, makes them really slow, and it lasts ages. So it's actually, I found when I've used this, I've got quite a few kills. I can jump in a group and do a lot of AoE damage because it's just tick, 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 tick. Pop down. I got chased down by them with the whip. You see the big whip. So we need to be mindful of like how hard we push them. We are a bit squishy. But if we sit with a group and just pepper people with dots, basically, that's where this thing shines. So that guy at the back has like loads on him. Can I CT break? Nope. Have to be able to CT break. Couldn't CT break. And that's what got us. Yeah, there was so much healing from that lacerate. But you can even see there that just one dot on him was doing 500. I mean, you put like 5, it adds up really fast. I might add some stam though. I feel like I want a bit of extra stamina. Mainly because I'm using 2 stam skills, cut and dive, and also the soul, like the willed soul version. So you can see that guy's got loads of dots on him now. Pop up here quickly. So tanky. Yeah, the sword and shield ult up. And lots of healing. And I don't feel like the Warden one's doing us any favours, so I might switch that out in a moment for the Arcanist, as Ace says it in YouTube. I'm just like mindful of the class mastery next patch, adding 1600 weapon and spell damage with all the status effects on them, which we're going to get a lot of those. I do think the Arcanist one might be a good shout, for sure. Yeah, look, just, you just saw at the end, like all of it just ticked. It was like tit. And his health bar just went. Pfft. But that guy's loads of dots on their back. You can just see it. Look, like it is so much pressure. Once you get them on the person, it is actually horrible. Oh, I need to have a little look at that. About a stab. Terrible time to write a stab. You can see the dots just ticking at it though. The dots got him still. That's funny, that is. It just shows you like how much damage they actually do. They creep up on you. So we had 7 kills, and these people had some good healing and some like tanky builds. Yeah, so just catch up with chat. Ace was saying about let's maybe switch out the Warden line, the heal one, which we're not really using to be honest. Like, are we? Like we're not using this. It's fun, but we don't actually use this. If we're not going to use the ult, by the way, we should change this to Dawnbreaker. Because, actually a few reasons. Dawnbreaker gives us extra damage from here, Slayer, and it also gives us ult when we kill people, which lets us recharge our skill much quicker. So that might be the smart play. Plus, it's a stun if we get like stuck. There's kind of like, oh no, get away from us. Yes, we have to recharge the ult. And then Johnny says, Xbox player here. When I go into Battlegrounds, it's like groups hunting you down with leap after leap. I can never get that much range time without being destroyed. I play on PC EU. I used to play on Xbox. So I used to play on Xbox EU for probably 2-3 years when the game first came out. And then I shifted over to PC and started making content. And I know what you mean. Like, I found Xbox and just consoles kind of full of sweats is the best way of saying it. It sounds harsh, but lots of people that just really run like the most meta stuff you can and stack a lot of defense with like high health pools, lots of resistances because the game lags. Now obviously it's gotten a lot better in all honesty performance wise, still not perfect, but I found console players built much more defensive in my experience having played on a console and moved to PC. Which is why you probably have issues killing people because they're bulkier, they're more health to burn through, they run more like defense sets like Rally and Cry. And then because of that, and you've got kind of a little bit of latency issues, it's just, you don't always get that much time to react or to like get the damage out. But when the damage is out, it's like nasty. Let's have a quick look at the combat metrics. But yeah, I do think we'll have a look at the Arcanist one, because next patch I'm probably going to run the Warden, because the Warden's Mastery, you've got a skill called something, but what it does is every status effect on the enemy increases your damage done to the target by 333 weapon and spell damage. So basically every status effect gives you a 330 weapon and spell damage boost, up to 1600 weapon and spell damage. So if you think of like spell strategies, it's kind of that, it's damage done. So your stats and your status effects will get a massive boost if you save a Warden next patch. You then also have one with Green Balance, where any skill can proc from Animal Companions, which we use a lot, and that can proc the ult gen. And you also get extra sustain. This becomes 500 sustain, and this works on you. So next patch, the Masteries will give us significantly more sustain, and it also gives us much more damage. For this patch though, Ace is right, that switching over to the Arcanist might be a smart play. So the Arcanist line, I think it is in Herald of the Tome. I think that's the one that has it. It's got Crux Gen, which is crit damage, but this one here, so Psychic Liaison. Your attacks ruin the mind with Heretical Knowledge, increasing damage by status effects by 15% and the chance by 55%. It's pretty decent. You also get Pen as well. And then we could run like Tome Bearer's Inspiration, it's our damage buff. Each time it passes, your class abilities strike the enemy, and we do this anyway with the Fetcher. So this would be procced automatically, so we could run this as our damage buff instead of Betty. And it's just free damage. Because it would also proc this too, so that is a good shout. You could put this in the front bar for more penetration. I'll probably keep the Dawnbreaker for the ult gen. I think that's more nice. So that is an option there. The other option we could go, sounds a bit weird, but let's go down the Adric Spear. What do we do that one? Cancel that. So if you go down Adric Spear on this skill line, where is it? Templar, Adric Spear instead of Green Balance for the current patch. You've got a skill called Balance War, which is weapon damage and armor, which is nice. Burn and Light. This will proc on any damage. So this will proc and just charge up really fast. So it's a free dot basically. You also get Minor Berserk, which means you can then drop this to be Deceptive Predator, so minor evasion for AoE reduction. Because you would have this like built in it at that point. And you also get crit damage, which is very nice. And you could run the Piercing Javelin, so Aurora Javelin, which you can throw and just stun people at range. So this could be quite a decent one too. The Sorcerer, you could go down Storm Calling as well, just think about that, because Storm Calling has a lot of damage boosts. So you've got regen, but you've got damage here, physical and shock. So that will buff your like concussed, that will also buff your saundered. But Amplitude, which increases your damage done to people that are higher health, so it helps you get them low. And you also then have this bonus one here. You also get access to Streak, which is fantastic. You've got Surge, which is healing. You've got Lightning Form, which is your armor buff. So this is a better armor buff because it actually does damage and it's speed, which we do need. You've got an Execute. And we also have a very cheap ult. Like, there's definitely things you can swap in, which I think will be worth considering. Johnny says, I don't get the set that increases your damage by 311. Is that lower than normal, or what am I missing? It's called Dragkin's Grip. It's 322. It's normally 320, but I got Minor Berserk on at the moment, which is why it's a bit higher. And my gear's not all gold. If it's all gold, it's about 330 with Berserk, give or take. So that's what that is. And then Ace on YouTube's asking, what about Xander's Spellweaver? I was looking at that set earlier. Now, the issue with that set is it increases your damage done with like fire and I want to say shock. Might be. I think it's fire and shock by 5%, and it increases your status damage by 5% for fire and shock. I think that's the set. It's a dungeon set. Increase your damage done with flame, frost, and shock by 5%. Increase your damage done with burning, shield, and concussion by an additional 15%. So it increases your damage by essentially 20% for the status effect, which is quite nice. It is crit damage, weapons, and then it's weapon, spell damage, and that 5 piece. It doesn't buff poisoned, doesn't buff disease, and doesn't buff overcharge or saundered. They've got a healer in that group. They have. So I'm gonna pop here. I am. Just pop down. Because can I bait someone around it? I think I've got this guy following me. Ah, okay. I thought he was gonna follow me. Apparently not. You just see huge chunks of his health bar go there. Like huge chunks of health. As soon as you get that crushing shock. Oh, it got me a Master Lock. Master Lock hit me so hard. And then Big Whip. I definitely think we need to change out the green balance. Like, we don't really use it. I'm just being stubborn because I want to keep it for next patch. But like this patch currently, we probably do need to switch it out. So I might have to go for skill point farming again, which is fantastic. But you can see as soon as you get the dots on them, it's scary damage. Can't see the breaking amount of stamp. I'm so dead. Yeah, they're in a group, they are, and they've got 2 healers with them. QE is a very good healer. Very, very good healer. Also very good on DK. So I think when they spread out a bit more, we would have more luck. But when they're all together, it's really hard to get the dots on one person. But that's going to happen, so I don't mind. And to roll, overload spam. Is the Fratishan staff good for PvP? Yes, so Brandon asks on YouTube, and yeah, the Vate Destra is very good. Very, very good. That is literally a group just running together. Maybe you might need to go to the one ahead when it spreads out a bit more. Like that. He's tanky boy, isn't he? When you get the damage on them, it's pretty decent. Just trying to get the people on there. Savara scales. Where did Mate Boy go? They're just locking me in place. Shit, about over 20k. That poison injection would be nice, because I can heavy attack with it. It combos really nicely as a thing. I need more stam. I think that's the big thing I've looked like. I need to have more stam or more stam regen. But you can look at the damage on it. But you can literally see it just ticking away at him. It's a lot of damage. But he's like, is his family heals? Even up there, it's still going. Lasts absolutely ages. I should put on the slabs when there's like gankers in the match. But yeah, that group together, really difficult. I think Stormcaller might be a good shout though. Oh, I tried rolling down there. I think, yeah, ball edge. Let's do that. That's actually a good shout. Not that. Can I change it now? A said, what about ball edge? And I think, yeah, that could help. Like, we need stam. I roll too much. That's also the other issue. I like rolling loads. Force of habit. Having the extra stam sustain might... Well, I think it's going to be useful. Go with the cleanser stuff. Got the stun on him up. Yeah. Like the damage, really, really horrible. Bit of a streak, and then lacerate. Are you using the thing that goes rolled in on some armor pieces? Oh, well fitted. Oh, the dots would have killed him. He had so many dots on him. I went for the Dawnbreaker. Yeah, when they're packed together, that's the one thing I've noticed. I need to... when they're together, it's really hard to get the pressure on them. Because you either hit the wrong person or they've got a lot of cross-healing. But I do think it's time we switch out Green Balance. It's not doing anything for us. Like, I'm not using it enough. It's not really worth it. So the natural one is the Arcanist. That's like the most obvious choice. Now I want to kind of keep at range. So yes, we have stun. Do you want the range on it? And if I go for Recruitive Tree Ties, it's more sustain, which I do need sustain, so that's going to help. I need to then find some skill points that I can get rid of. Okay, so we're not using that. That can go. That can go. Now I'm going to play like, let's find some ways to get some skill points. Need 4 more. More skill points. We're not actually using that, so that's 2 there. Oh, using entropy. We don't. That's 3 though. We don't need that. I need 1 more skill point. At the moment, we're not in Cyrodiil, so we could just drop that. Yeah, we'll do that. It's not an elegant thing, but it's. So then this will give us more sustain, because this is really good sustain. 3 damage, which means. So we can try it with the Tree Ties. It's also for extra damage. But so far, like, you can see it's doing a good amount of damage. Like 1400 there, 1000 there, burning 800 there, hemorrhaging 900 there, disease 1000, concussion 900. So like with all those things constantly just applying, it's just like it's 4k damage a second. That was to that guy at the end. As soon as we put the dots on him, it's just a lot of damage every second. And that poor person there, 6,000 damage when we had everything in the force pulse spam. 6k damage a second is horrible in PvP. So I definitely think we're on to something. I didn't charge my ult though, which is not going to help. Please be the ult one here. That looks like a not one there. Ult. There is a lord. This we got the ult. That's like actually super helpful. And I push my potion bombers. Okay, we're gonna pop down because there's a lot of them. I'm going to push to the side. I'm going to play smarter. Yeah. Sorry to annoy him. Ah, I had to use the ult. I had no option. when we can get the stuff on people is... Ah, that was horrible because I hit one and got the cleave on him. That guy's gonna die from the dots. He's got all the dots on him. Dead. The dots are nasty. Those are absolutely dirty. That's gonna die from the dots. He's healing. He's healing. Yeah, I'm spamming mag much more. But I don't mind mag because I can roll. I got hit with a dorm, a big incap, sorry. I just like the damage just keeps ticking. It does like tick, 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 even though you can be really far away. Well, that look, you can just see all the numbers on them. Look at that poor person up there. Look at it. Look at the numbers. Oh, that's actually insane. Like in the best way possible. That was definitely an easier match. Like, you can't control the RNG of like who you get and stuff in the MMR, but let's look at the damage difference. So we got that extra skill line now. Like poisoned 1600, burning 1800, chill 2k nearly. Like that change into the Arcanist is quite a big boost. At 2.4k. I'm going to put the Dawnbreaker on the back bar too, right? Only because I need an ult. I need an ultimate. I don't have one. So yeah, I feel like this mythic definitely has some legs on it for sure. Like, if you build really into it, and again, like we've gone super niche. I'm gonna see if we can get some Cyrodiil. Just because like, I know people are going to go, well, what about like more tankier players or... So it'd be good if we can try and get some. There's under attack, so maybe we can just get some fights. What's our champion points? I haven't even checked that. That's probably fine. That can change. That can change. That's helpful. Yeah, we've got to change these. In which way, Brandon? So Brandon asks, would that mythic work well with stam sets? So we need Thaumaturge. Increase damage done with damage over time effect by 3%. I think the initial hit is considered direct damage. I know they're definitely a single target. In terms of dot DPS, it'll be decent. It comes down to what you want out of it. So I've chosen to use Draw Kicking because it buffs every single dot. So Draw Kicking works really well because it hits that hard. Now, if you use something like Essence Thief, I think Ace is referring to. So he said Stam's Thief. So Essence Thief is when you do damage with a light attack. I think it's melee light attack as well. It has to be melee. Summon a big green beam, walk in the beam, you get health, you get stamina, you get 10% damage done. Very good set. The issue is that when you use it, you need to be in their face because it spawns from the enemy, not from you. So yes, you could use that set if we're thinking Essence Thief. But by the time you get all the dots on them, you are quite vulnerable. So I've gone down the range route to make it easier to play. But like if you went down a stam route, use like a DK with a sorcerer mix, and play it like a stam sulk, so like Hurricane, Streaking, Disintegrating Dragonfire would work really well. You got the Burning Claw, so the Embers. You better use like double dot poisons. I feel like you could get some pretty decent damage out of that, but you're melee, and it's not that melee is like impossible to play. The people that like watch a lot of my stuff often need help with things, so I've tried to make it a bit easier by keeping it at range. Because you can do that, you can sit in a group. It's all red. Let's see. Oh my goodness, there is a lot of reds. Like it ticks hard, even in here. Like, if you look at that person at the back over there, like he's got so much healing from that group, and it's look at the damage. It is a lot of ticks, even still. Like we're not attacking him, and it's still. So I'm just gonna go dot this dude up, yeah. Got siege out. Sin dead. A red forever. So he's on a don't die build, he is. Look at all the dots on him there. The dots do so much damage to him. Like, this is what I was envisaging the build does. You sit at the back and just pepper people with dots. And then they run around corners and stuff. It's a lot of extra damage. Like, if you're 1vx and you're getting this much extra pressure on you, it's gonna be horrible. Our BG is ready. I think, have I made Cyrodiil my home campaign? We'll jump into that BG in a second. Just wait 80 seconds to find somebody to try and dot them up. Oh, there's a yellow. I know BG is available. I want to go get the yellow. Good burst, I'll give him that. You can see the dots literally eating away at him. Like, he's obviously decent, and the dots are forcing him to kite. Yeah, he's now, I think he's dead. Yeah. We might be able to get back into that one that we just missed. I was having too much fun chasing people and hitting the dots. What defense tick? Which means we've probably earned 20k. So I'm going to get my transmute. Somebody asked earlier, how do I get transmute crystals? I do 1 BG and win. Like, pretty much first time. And you get 35 crystals by doing that. Because you get enough to get the reward of the worthy box. And you always get the 10 from winning the BG. From the Battle Master one. So it's like 35 crystals a day. It adds up pretty quick, actually. Now, I know people might be going, well, like with the build, you won't be able to like 1vx, or it's quite squishy. Like, it's not made for that. Like, just please bear that in mind. Like, this is meant to be a fun way to play the game. In that you can basically punish people. People who overextend, you can put the dots on them. And because they last a very long time, and they tick really fast, like every second, it's actually quite deceptive how much damage you take. You don't realise before it's too late. And like having 1 or 2 of these in a group would be pretty nasty. It looks like they've gone to the mine. Which is like the other side. It definitely plays differently though. Like, if you've played stuff before, it doesn't play like anything else. I'm gonna go down to Sedge, I think. I love like when I used to play on DC, ADs, the yellows on Xbox. I used to love this area to fight in because you're like all the kind of hills, the ups and the downs. You can like snipe people from the sides or like ambush. It's quite a fun area to fight in. He's got loads of dots ears. Look at the poor dude with all the dots on him. I won't be able to get to him. I know my BG's just popped as well. "17 seconds. I think we can help get the assist. Okay, we'll take the BG. So we had a little bit of Cyrodiil, obviously not a huge amount, but we'll try and get some more. Oh, we just joined match. There's one dead. Well, it definitely felt like we came back and helped. There's a big flame lash he has. We've got jumping in. Sadly, City says, "Love this game." Honestly, there's some really good stuff coming in with ESO recently. We've just joined a match, by the way, so you're like, why are there only like a few kills? The match is like, it was halfway through when we joined. Alright, look at the dots, dead. Hit the speed. Oh no, I can't. Dirty set. So I've got some dots on that dude. Oh, so much with his teammate behind, hitting hard. Relentless focus. Oh, I went for the Dawnbreaker, I don't know if you saw that. And the leap got me. He's gonna have those dots for quite a while though, he is. Oh, I got hit with Dawnbreaker, and then a big Plague Whip. I got aggressive. So much passive healing on a D gate. Oh, I don't want to be in the werewolf. I don't want to be in the werewolf. Yeah, if you've just joined, we're testing that new mythic. And I've been pretty impressed with it, to be fair. That DK had to retreat because of how much dot pressure was on him. Look at that. You still see numbers. Like, it's actually dirty how much it does. I don't want the ball near me. Ball's like death. Yeah, the stam sustain feels a lot better since I did those changes. Vampire Leap got me. The dot's got him though. Look at that, 40k with Vampire Leap. Did you have full health? Ah, I got him. You get them so low and then people just still like get the assist. And execute will be quite good with this, like the beam. I mean, it's so sad. Went for bow. So there's a person jumping in with the spec bow and then a big flame lash. I was holding block as well. That something hit me for 5k still. I need to let the ult stay at 500 for like that giga damage. Oh yes, I love this. There's like huge damage boost. The dot's got him. He got a cleanse for his teammate. We've done 1.3 million damage though, and we joined like halfway in the game. Just shows you how much pressure this thing has once you get it going. And this is without poison injection, by the way. When we get poison injection, our damage is going to be better because you've got the like dot execute too, which is pretty good. Just looking at the damage, hemorrhaging 1300, poison 1600, chill 2.4k. Like that's mad. That is. But that alone there, that's like 4,000, 5,500 roughly, plus the concussion. It's probably about 7,000 damage a second once you get it all on them, and it lasts for 20 seconds. We'll see if we can get back into Cyrodiil. But I feel like adding the tree ties really did help the sustain on this, like quite a bit. Yeah, if you guys got any suggestions of what we could do differently, I'd be curious to know. Because like, I'm not going to like profess that I know all the answers. Like this is what I think will work for this kind of playstyle. It's niche. Do I go there? But the fact that that's under attack means it's probably going there, so I'm going to go here. And hopefully get a fight down towards, if I go towards Cyrodiil, A said the craftable for longer status effect. Yeah, I'm using that, the Serpent's Disdain. It's very good for this build. Normally it's pretty like rubbish in all honesty. But for this specific playstyle, surprisingly effective. Because you can get the damage boost from the Mythic. At which point it then becomes very good as a set. MP, like guards are normally quite tanky, yeah? But because like you got this false pulse thing, it does double like procs to status effects twice. So every other thing hits like a truck. There you see it. The second one, ready, and then a huge chunk again, and then a huge chunk again. So that every other hit is basically like using a burst skill. One and then big hit, see? Oh, damn it. I was too busy killing the guards. Blue Road's under attack though. Let's go towards Blue Road. There's yellows there though. Yeah, we're going to go down to Cyrodiil because by the time we get there, I think that'll be over at Blue Road. Ace says, what about Snake in the Stars on YouTube? So Snake in the Stars is a set that reduces healing, if I remember. And like every time they heal, it gives them like oblivion damage every 0.1 second or something. So it basically works against people who stack heals. For this kind of playstyle, I find Snake in the Stars only works against like all groups. Like people who have lots of passive healing from other players. Oh. There's a yellow. Oh, actually there's people in the tower, so they know what they're doing in the tower. I just want to see, not to like ruin his day, I just want to see how much damage this actually does if I dot him up. Because he's running around like no tomorrow, which is good for him. But yeah, you can see the damage. Like it is ticking away at them. Look. I'm going to push towards the keep though. Because chasing the ball group by myself when I'm not on a bursty build is going to end in one way for myself. Like, sometimes you kind of need to go, you know what? There's only so much I can do with this. And like this is definitely made for groups. Dead. Yeah, there are a lot of them coming. The dots were doing, to be fair, they're considering I got hit with 2 Dawnbreakers and then loads of whip spam. Didn't do too bad. Still, the dots are still ticking on them. But they last so long, don't they, with that set? It's actually silly. I reckon that those 2 people obviously knew what they were doing. I reckon they were more of an average person. I reckon we would have got the kill with the dots. Brandon says, does Shuttered Path work better with or without the addition of poisons? Shattered Path. Shattered Path, it buffs all like status effects, so poison status effect will get buffed. So I'm using that on the front bar. And it's very, very potent. And what we can do now, I'm just thinking out loud actually. Now, if we had this as charged, when I tested this before, it was very similar damage, but our status effects weren't being boosted by the Mythic. So I do wonder whether charged might be better now. But this, yes, it's an ice staff, but we can see the difference. That does like huge chunks of damage to them. You see what I mean? Because the charge is proccing it constantly. But that is a lot of damage. So I wonder, do we try charge? I'm just thinking out loud. I mean, put a poll up. Should we try charged lightning staff? It's more transmute crystals, which I don't want to use. But should we try it? And I don't know the answer, in all honesty. Like, it feels like it's going to hit very hard with it. Because the charged... Like, charge is a bit weird. And let me leave BGs. Green said, what's the mythic? The mythic's like... It's very, very fun. So, basically, it's called the Signet's Path. So it's like Shattered Path Signet. It increases the damage done with status effects by 1% up for every ult up to 170. In PvP, it's halved. So it does about 85% bonus damage on your status effects. Which doesn't sound great, in all honesty. But when you can push your status effects really, really high, you then get lots and lots of damage. It's like this was against an NPC, but Chill was doing 9,000 damage. Like a crit. If I find I was doing it against players. Against players, Chill 1200 there, 1200 there, concussion 900, hemorrhaging 900, burning 700. So we'll see if we go back one. Hemorrhaging 1300, poison 1600, burning 1500, Chill 2400. So basically, it's like a... With it, if you stack status effects, they become dots. I want to make it. I think I'm gonna make the charged, and I could be completely wrong. But I feel like this time it might be better, because when I did the testing before, the difference between charged and sharpened was very negligible, with sharpened being more consistent, but that was without this mythic. Now we've got this mythic, which increases our damage significantly with status effects, and we can also add in subclassing to make it even better. Charge does feel like the play, in all honesty. Let me go to a guild house quick. Green in YouTube says, that seems like a DK mythic. I think it's a mythic for anybody that uses status effects. So if you use False Pulse, burn and chill concussion instantly. If you use the Asylum, super, super good on the Asylum, because that procs burn and chill concussion all of the time. And I've chosen to do it on a warding because you've got access to like Bleed with Cliff Racer, you've got access to the Fetcher Infection, which is magic damage. So you've got a few ways to get like other status effects quite easily. Which is a trial. And I want the lightning staff charged. Now the reason why we're going to do this is, and I will check, like, I already have one. I just sometimes check before I make stuff. Do you know what I mean? That might actually help. Okay. I think the Mythic can be used on lots of classes. Like DK's historically been the dot class because of their poison scales and all this stuff, yeah? They've got some really cool things going on. I do wonder whether Warden's pretty good in the mix. And I'm thinking all like the class masteries. Next patch with the changes to like the masteries, a DK would be very good for this with Pyre Band. Because that's a nasty set. And like that does so much damage. I will need to die to go grab it. Or the cause, eh? But like, this is like the damage, look. Bang. It just does huge chunks of damage. Like that guy's got 108k health for his guard. 3 of those. NGR Smoke says, so NRG YouTube says, I hope the class mastery make my DK a hit more than a 26k whip. The DK rework has been very, very good. I've been very impressed with it. Like, I've always been very upfront with what I think of the game. And I think with the changes they've done, more recently have been very good. Like DK is fantastic. Werewolf, honestly, if you don't play it, you're going to be missing out. It is so good next patch. Like so good. Let's try it with the charged. I'm quite happy with the skills, by the way. For people like curious, I think the skills are in a pretty good spot. That fight at Blue Rad's been on for ages. But you know, 26k whip is going to be pretty nuts. That's literally like deleting people at that point. You'll have a random load screen whilst you're riding up a hill. NRG on YouTube says he one-tapped 4 people with the whip. I think it was a healer buffing me. I think whatever they're doing, it worked. Like hitting, if I saw 26k on my death sheet from a whip, I would be really frustrated. Impressed, because go like, that's absolutely insane. But also frustrated to go like, there's not much you can do about that. That's literally oh, you're at full health. No, you're not. Oh, I can actually try it here. This is a ball group. That does huge chunks of damage, that does. This does so much damage. Oh my goodness, it feels like it's cheating. I'm going to go defense tick for this. I literally just joined right at the end. Reds, oh yes. Have any AoE to pull him out. It's a more single target. I feel like I should probably burn the camp as much as I want to kill people. Oh, that side's under attack. Yeah, I want to see like what it does with charge and AG as well, because it feels decent. Mine's blue. I don't think there's anybody in here. I just want my defense stick. We'll get to tier 1, we get some crystals at the end. I might be able to travel down there. Yeah, so if you've just joined, by the way, we are testing the Signet Path things, the Shattered Path Signet. And basically it makes status effects become dots. That's the best way of describing it. And they hit very hard. Like very, very hard. They are very fun. But you also have to really specialize into it, like hyper focus on it. So I don't mind it so much. Because it's not like you're just suddenly really OP. Dear my god, the healing, that damage though, dirty. That hits very hard, those dots. I only put like 2 dots from the back bar. If we put on the disease and stuff, I reckon we would have killed him. And if the other guy didn't jump in, I think we would have got the kill. It shows you how hard it hits though. Yeah. Got hit with door breaker. Big door breaker. I'm going to go for the DK instead next. This is not made, by the way, for like fighting 1vx or like even like duels, because it's just meant to hit people and like dot them up really, really quick at range, which it does. Like it does that very, very well. You got Dawnbreaker again. Hey, you hit me with Dawnbreaker just a minute ago. I know if we can catch them travelling. But yeah, we're like super, super squishy. Let's go down to Fargle. Yes. Pop down to Fargle. How does this game cost as a new player? So many different things you want to buy. So do you mean, so Jax is asking on YouTube, do you mean like in regards to the DLCs and the expansions? Or do you mean like actual buying get items in game? Like, are things expensive in game? Is it hard to get gold? And I'll be able to obviously give you a better answer. So hard. It's so hard. Oh, Jax came over from YouTube on Twitch. If you want to start playing all the content, not to like say buy a membership, but the ESO Plus, I do think it's pretty well balanced. Yes, it's like 10 quid a month roughly, or varies from it varies from kind of currency to currency. But with ESO Plus, you get some free stuff here. You get crowns. And then what's good with it though, it gives you access to all of the content pretty much, like all the dungeons. So every dungeon that's come out, you'll be able to access. You'll be able to access pretty much all the zones that are decent. The only place you can't access is Solstice, which is like down here somewhere. Where is it? Here it is. So this is like in the season pass, but there's not much here. So if you're going, I'm not sure what to do, I think the price of ESO Plus is decent, and if you were to go, I want to buy the DLC, I personally buy ESO Plus 3 months and then use the crowns to buy the DLC ones that I want. And I find that's like the best balance. Oh. Wait for me. Wait for me. I'm running as quick as I can. Oh, he did. He did. He did. He waited for me. He waited for me. Oh, having this extra damage. It's going to be dirty. Lee's asked in YouTube a message. I'll look at that in a sec. Come near me. Dirty. I mean, it's some really nasty snipes they did. Okay. I will now focus on doing damage. Lee was saying, what is the name of the Night Market Mythic, please? It's called the Signet, Shattered Signet Path, Shattered Path Signet. I'll go through what it does in a sec, but I'm using it and it's very fun. It basically turns your status effects into dots. And because of that, you basically just have like loads of extra dots. It's definitely, you can see that the damage keeps ticking on this dude. He's like, I did ages ago to him. That Welf was dead. Like it's just so much damage, but like you have to hyper build around it. You can't use an ult. That dude's gonna die from the dots. Oh, yeah. Let's push around here. Get some buffs on. Oh, so someone does it. Someone's done it to me. It's horrible. It's so horrible. I want to live. That's, oh my goodness. I've got so many dots on me, I'm just having to spam Betty to clear them. Go on, Betty. This would be great with Master Lock. Just like huge chunks of damage. I'm about to stamp. I had 2 ults on my cheat, death sheet. Yeah, so Jax, I hope that kind of answers your question about like what you want to do like when you buy the content and such. And if you mean like in-game items and stuff, then it's generally like getting to CP 160 and then making a build, and you're going to use something like Order's Wrath. I got hit with a negate. Just got pulled into the thing, hit with a thriving chaos, and then rolled into a negate. That's like horrible. But like, even though I'm dead, I've still got the dots ticking, doing damage to them. Okay, that's him going to die from that. Oh, I've rolled around the corner and everything. I got pulled with the chains. I've literally been spammed with chains. Yeah, that chain's very annoying. It's like it pulls you. The charge is very cool though. Just trying to stay alive. Go with the dots. Above says, what's the add-on that stat info? I think you mean combat metrics, the one where you can see like how much damage things do. So much damage. As soon as you get 2 or 3 things on them, dead. I got me with an in cap. And then the killer's blade, I was holding block, I went to roll. Got too greedy. Got too greedy. The combat metrics is very, very, very good. I'll clear all that horrible stuff. Thank you very much. Oh, something hit me. Oh. Saw a little nutmeg go somewhere. Don't know where he went. Oh, sorry, look at my... You roll loads there to dodge all that werewolf rampage thing, isn't it? Got my heals. I like that you can just like hit them at range and just put so much pressure on them. It's so satisfying. Go for speed sigil. You can see the dot damage to him. It's like literally you're watching his health bar go down, down, down. Like this is a really satisfying way to play the game. You want to just like have a like casual time in PvP, and not say like annoy people, but this will definitely annoy people. And like we have so much health. I did roll. Got chased down. Okay, we'll go for that dude. Oh, at the end of the match. We had 24 kills. We have 1.8 million damage. And that was that dude there. He died 17 times. That's 4. Oh, that was good. That was good fun. That was good fun indeed. Yeah, what's the combat metrics this now then? Because obviously the status effects are going to hit less without sharpened, but we're going to get significantly more. It's so hard. I'm just thinking about DK skill line as well, whether we that in. So you've got Ardent Flame. instead of Herald of the Tome. Because when you apply Burning, you restore Magicka and Stamina. This will give us so much sustain. Because we apply this every second, pretty much. But that will give us basically 400 regen. Dealing damage with an Ardent Flame, because there's no good one of these that we can use for that at range. Maybe Incinerate? Increase your chances of blind burning and its damage done by 12%. And healing. So this will give us a ton of sustain. Because that's like basically 400 regen. Which is a lot of regen, that is. We would apply Burning really, really consistently, and it will hit harder. Whereas our current one, I think, makes all of our stuff hit harder. So I do think this is probably the better for general use. But the DK has some really cool things you could do. I'm going to see if I can get one more, but it is very late where I am, so I might just kind of call it here. And then what we'll do kind of is just a very quick summary of what we've done tonight, what we've tested, what we found out, kind of like the pros and cons of the Mythic, because it's very good, but it's also very limiting. A bit like Oakensol, so actually, with that in mind, it's pretty balanced, in all honesty. So we'll touch upon kind of the Mythic itself, but what I will do before I go is I do have a Discord. So if you have questions after the stream, you go, oh, I want to ask Dan something, just hang out with other people and stuff. There is a Discord, and I think it's like 1,000 people in there. So if you are interested in that, I will chat now. And you'll find that it's typically the quickest place to get hold of me. So if you have like I really want to know something, that's the easiest place to get hold of me. And then if you're on Twitch, it'll be the same. So this is the message for Twitch people. There it is. That's my Discord. And what we'll do, we'll spend the next couple of minutes just rounding up the Mythic. And kind of, we kind of call it there. Top Org in Twitch says, thanks for the stream, been lurking. Love the golden vendor on shorts, keep up the great work. Now, cheers for the feedback. It's something I'm trying different. So if you haven't seen it, I'm like thinking, do I put shorts out for the vendor reviews, like the golden vendor, the Scalarium when that changes and how you can use it. And it basically make it a 2-3 minute, here's a quick bang, here's information, off we go. So I'm curious to see if people like that format rather than the 10-15 minute, here's all of it in one go. So having kind of feedback really helps kind of decide on how I move that forward. As for the Mythic in question though, the Mythic essentially, it allows you to turn status effects into dots. So the way in which this becomes really good is that this allows you to stack essentially extra skills on your bar, because it's really hard to get enough damage with dots because you spend so much time trying to apply them. And this kind of helps make them more impactful, but you also have your normal skills as well. You know, when you pair it with something like Serpent's Disdain and makes them last significantly longer, in PvP especially, this then becomes essentially a free damage over time. And so when you're adding lots and lots and lots together, that's when you start to get the power. But you have to really stack loads of status effects and have your ult at 500 pretty much and don't use ults. But if you do that, you then get a really good amount of damage. So like what we're doing is we've got hemorrhaging, 1 status effect. We've got disease, 2 status effect. We've got overcharged, which is magic, that's 3 status effect. On the glyph, we actually have poison, so that's 4 status effects. And then on the front bar, we've got burning, shield, concussion, that's 7 status effects. So what ends up happening is that those 7 things get really ramped up massively because of what we're doing. And so they end up becoming really, really hard hitting. So although these skills are quite low, tooltips, they're not bad, those status effects are really carrying the damage. And like you can see it here. So if we start on this bar here and we literally just cycle through our dots. And then we can just spam this. And it's just chunks of damage constantly. Like, that's doing it to a player. And then like, even if you go, okay, they're moving around, they're kiting, you put your dots on them, and then they kind of get around the corner, you've got all of that ticking. A lot of damage, and like, I've not done anything. So that's kind of what the Mythic does. It allows you to stack status effects and get free damage. We'll pop down. Mad in YouTube asks, how can we use this for PvE? At the moment, I would suggest not rushing heavily into it because there are changes coming. Let me... Got me with a big streak. Big streak in the Master Lock. Dirty Master Lock. But a lot of people are currently using on Warden. There you go. We got a kill. But yeah, to Mad's thing, you want to use it with like the Warden because the bear is very good with it. And essentially you layer different status effects. I want to wrap up in a sec, I will. No, I'm going to go in a second. To Mad saying, if you want to run like a Shattered Paths build, it's going to be heavily dependent on status effects, but most people are running things like Threads of War. I believe it's a craft set. And then they're using like a trial set like Null Arcana, for example. Yeah, it's craftable. So it says your light attacks again 100% status effect chance. And because of that, it ends up giving you a lot of extra additional damage. So you'd use like daggers, for example, and on the backup you could use like a 2H greatsword, and you'd essentially do like Threads of War, Null Arcana, the Master's greatsword, and then you'll probably use like one piece slime crawl for like a crit piece, but that's kind of like the generic setup for it. It's very strong, but it's gonna be tweaked, so I wouldn't rush to make the build for PvE because it's gonna get adjusted with masteries and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Cheers for the topic, or just obviously messaging about the shorts again. That was useful to know. But if you want to see the build, this will be coming to the channel soon. I will make a full guide on like how it works, some Cyrodiil gameplay, some BGs. It's a very niche, very fun build. It's not like meta by any means, but it works. It hits hard. It's very unique, like very, very unique. And I love this kind of playstyle. Having mythics that make brand new build ideas that's just not possible without them is what mythics should do. They should be really fun and powerful. And I do think Zos has really done a good thing with this mythic. So if you want to see that, obviously like, subscribe, all that good stuff helps. But I'm just going to say thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next video or stream. So take care and bye.